Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn about the signal harness. So we talked about the bus connection previously and it comes with a cost. It has a very strict naming, so you have to use for example, if you're choosing to name your bus data, you have to make sure that every other names is persistent with the naming, like data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4. And we also have to use a specific kind of command to group all of the bus together. But in modern world, you will be working on, or maybe you have a design that includes USB, HDMI, or anything, any connectors that has, for example, MSI or clock or ground or maybe SPI stuff or whatever it is. And you need to have the grouping for your HDMI or for your USB type A, type C, whatever it is, and you don't want yourself to get very confused. So you want to have a better way to name these classes, right? And that's why we're going to learn about the signal harness. And we're going to show you like what is the project settings you have to select and how to make the naming, how can you connect between two pages. So let's get started, I believe. So first thing we have to do is, well, you have to have the entry, or we can just get started with this. So for example, this is my 4 wires I'm selected, or I have selected, and I'm gonna create a boundary or parenthesis, however you want to call, and I want to say this name as, well, I want to say this name as maybe USB, okay, some kind of a crazy USB name. And now I also have to name this entries. So you have to name the entries. So let's say signal harness entry. Let's say ground here, okay? And let's say we're gonna give it a name of 3.3 volt. And we're gonna give the second one name of, for example, SPI, or maybe just MISO for simplicity. Oopsies. MISO for simplicity. And we're gonna call that guy as maybe clock. Okay. Alright. Let's say clock. Well, actually I made a mistake. It's pretty easy to fix it. So okay, good. So now I have 4 entries, 4 harness entries, and I have this harness connector, and now I can take a port and place it here, and I can group them together and say this is maybe USB. I'm just giving an example, okay? Maybe A, B, C, whatever it is. I'm just, please don't take the naming seriously. I'm just trying to give an example. I don't like giving tutorial on vigor design or maybe more serious design. I just want to give an example. So alright, so now I have a USB A here, and it has like 4 option. Well, actually I want to change the name because I feel like a lot of people may get angry. Okay, USB X, and I have this 4 of this port, the entries, and they're under the name harness called USB. So now you can also change however you want to look into it. You can change the entry name if you want. Well, we're not gonna go into that right now. Well, that's pretty cool that we have this cool stuff together. Now, how could we use this thing to any of our other part of the design? Well, what you can do is think about, we want to go to like sheet 2, and I have another ESP32. It's just an example. Now I want to use this thing right here, so I can do right click, and I can go to place, and I can go to the harness and predefined harness connector. And here you go, the USB. Here you go, all the name is showed up. So let's just say okay, and let's rotate it. Now let's connect it together, and we're good to go. Well, we have to fix this part. So our name was USB-C X, so that we can reference to our design. And here you go. Now it's telling us that, hey, guess what? This is linked with your sheet 1. Let's go to sheet 1, and we're not getting any kind of warning. So always remember, if you're trying to connect with your port, you have to use this signal harness. You can't just use bus, you can't just use anything. So now you're saying, well, I'm very happy. I made my first connect signal harness design. I'm very happy. Let's dump it to my PCB. Well, before we do so, let's check out some properties. Let's go to the navigator and let's check out, well, actually you have to compile your project first. So let's do validate. So I hope I didn't got any warning. And now let's go to the navigator again. Where is it? Navigator. And now we can see, here we go. Now we can see that this is our USB X dot 3.3 clock, ground. But the naming is not really cool. The naming sucks. As you can see, the naming is not really what we wanted. The naming is kind of like, it doesn't really make sense. And even if you want to, for example, even if you want to convert your design and dump it to your PCB, you'll see that the naming doesn't even make sense. Here we go. It's saying net J18 and it's connecting to something that I even don't know what the heck it is. So another question comes that, well, we have been working really hard to give this name USB, and we want to create a class and want to have each of this NAT name accordingly to our clock, MISO 3.3 volt and ground. Why this is not happening? Well, because we haven't configured our project settings. So let's go to our project, and now let's go down to project option. Once you go there, we'll go to our option, and well, first of all, we want to go to our class generation and make sure that we turn on this generate net class for named signal harness so that it can create a class. But the most importantly, if you really want to have a naming of your signal wires accordingly to the signal harness name, then we have to go to the option and turn on allow ports to name nets. If you don't turn it on, it's not going to happen. Now if I click OK, and if I go to my validate project, and if I go to my design and update PCB document, now you can see that all this crazy name has changed to USBX.MISO, USBX.ground. Very simple to work with, right? Here you go. It's super simple to work with. Now we don't have to worry about all the craziness. And even if you go to your classes, you can probably see all of the naming. Hopefully, here you go. The NAT's naming is accordingly to USBX, ground, whatever it is. And I also believe if we go to here, project, validate project, and if you go to your navigator again, where is the navigator? Where it is? Here you go. Now, here you go. Very cool. So you can see our name showing up as exactly what we wanted. So here you go. No more crazy name anymore. And trust me, in Vigor Design, you can simplify your schematic in a super nice way. Very nice way. And I guess that's it for today. Next time we're gonna talk about something different. And also make sure that you change these settings according to whatever you want. And just, yeah, have fun designing. Bye.